Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Line and Length. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy today to have all the way from Trinidad and Tobago a very special guest, known in all parts of TNT and West Indies cricket and around the world as perhaps an opener who has got 2 World Cups to his name, Lendl Simmons, who only this week announced that he is retiring from the game. First of all, Lendl, thank you so much for joining us on the program. How is TNT doing?
So far it's good. A couple of rainy days we had in Trinidad, but nonetheless it's good so far.
Lendl, your announcement of retirement came just after that of Dinesh Ramdin, someone who you would have played with for so many years. What led to your retirement at this particular stage?
Well, after the last World Cup, I think 2021 I had a good season playing for West Indies. We had 3 series, and then we went to World Cup. And after those 2 games, I didn't play any more games in the World Cup. And then coming out of World Cup, we had a series to Pakistan where I said I wouldn't be available to go. And that was the last of me playing for West Indies. When I spoke to the captain at that time, he said that he was looking at the younger generation. So I thought of myself as being old at 37. It was a bit displeasing to hear that at age 37 that they consider me old. And then now come to CPL, I didn't get bought in a draft. And seeing that I'm the leading run scorer in CPL, I would think that I would be in the draft and being selected to play with the team. And with World Cup coming around the corner in Australia, if I'm not playing in CPL, it doesn't give me a chance to get my way back into West Indies cricket. And to me, it just wasn't making sense, like hanging on any longer to West Indies cricket.
So I just want to be clear, are you going to still try and play league cricket going forward? Are you going to still play Red Force cricket, or is Lendl Simmons calling it quits altogether because of the lack of opportunity recently?
No, I would still play franchise cricket. I think I'm still fit and have a lot to offer to the game. I play cricket in America, I play cricket in Bangladesh. And as I said, I keep myself fit, so I can play any league. Given the chance, I'll still be playing for West Indies, but it is what it is, and life goes on.
Okay, Lendl, let's look at your career. What would you say has been the highs of your career when you look over the span of how much you've played? You've played almost a decade and a half. Let's reverse and talk about the highs and the lows of Lendl Simmons' career.
Well, the high of my career, I would say, is playing with Brian Lara, the high of my career. The lows would be that not playing enough Test cricket as I would like to play. And back when I play, most of the times after 2 failures, I was always out of the team. And playing for the West Indies over a couple of years, I realized that some players play for the team, some players play for themselves. The ones who play for the team and don't be as successful pays the price. And that has always been part of my career coming up, that when you play for the team and you don't be as successful as playing for yourself and getting a score to your name, you pay the price for it. But not in cricket, in sports, all around, there's the high and lows, but I enjoyed it all.
In terms of the influences that you would have had growing up, going to school in Trinidad, right up to now you're leaving West Indies cricket at age 37, who have been some of those positive influences that have, really cheered on Lendl Simmons, come what may?
I must say my brother, Cohen, my mother, Miss Mohipat, the coach from El Dorado. I originally passed for Firebirds Gymnastics School, where Miss Mohipat saw my talent, and I got transferred to El Dorado Senior Comprehensive, where I started my career playing school cricket and then going on to under 15 and representing West Indies under 15, where my career took off from there. So I must give credit to Miss Mohipat, my brother, who always carried me in the nets when I was age 13, pushing me to play A-side cricket when I was only 13 years. Kane Farm Sports Club, I must say, I'm the only player from Kane Farm Sports Club to represent West Indies and Trinidad at this level. Now we have my little nephew Keegan Simmons, representing Trinidad, and hopefully he goes on to West Indies cricket. So it's a lot of people who influenced my career, and I had the backings of, and my family really pushed me and gave me a lot of support. I have a crazy sister who, no matter where I play, she always be there, always cheer me on. And Trinidad cricket in all, a lot of fans that who wish me well, times that I was going through hard stuff, and it wasn't like a big pressure like you should call it quits. You're end of your career and you should quit. So
you look Lendl at some regrets. Are there any at all? Have Lendl Simmons had to do anything differently when you think back from the time you started to now? If you had to do anything differently, being a more mature person now, what would it be?
I don't think I have any regrets. My as they say, when you play, you get a lot of. Once you have the talent and you work hard, talent is not going to get you where you want to go alone. But when you play in IPL, you play in Big Bash, and you see the work the other cricketers put in, but they also have a lot of good facilities as well to help them.
No, Lendl, I want to talk future West Indies cricket and your future. I know you said you might still play some league cricket, but some people have gone into coaching post retirement and other parts of the game, commentary and whatever. Do you have any interest in coaching or anything else? And what do you think about the future of this West Indies team and how can they improve?
Well, as to me coaching, I don't see myself coaching. I think that when I call it quits from cricket in general, I would take a permanent rest from cricket as it is. I'm saying that now, but maybe then after when I could change my mind. The future of West Indies cricket, I think we have a lot of hope. But it's up to the players to make a difference.
Yes.
I think everyone has their career, and the younger players want to make a name for themselves. But there are different formats in the game now that different players might choose to play. And you have players like Kyle Mayers playing all formats of the game. He play Test cricket, he play one day T20, and you can say he bats the same way. And that's, as I said, you just need to know your game. We have a young leader in Puran, and I think once you have the respect of other players and each other, they respect each other, we can build something good, and it will reach there tomorrow, next year. It will take some time. A lot of people that has been saying over a number of years that West Indies cricket will get back to where it's going, but it will take some planning, and the administrative have a lot to do with it. And hopefully we can improve our facilities as well, so players can get proper facilities to practice to get better.
And does Lendl Simmons follow any other sports? Who are your other admirers outside of cricket? What other sports do you follow in sportsmen?
I love football. I follow football. I'm a Messi fan. I like watching La Liga. I watch English Premier League. I like football on a whole. I like playing football as well.
Which team do you follow in the?
I know I get a little serious, but Manchester United.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
So we got to end. We have to end the interview now. No, but Lendl, congrats on a well played career. One of the innings that I will always remember against India in the 2016 World Cup. Phenomenal. Then you had some chances, but your batting was just sensational. That's one I would always remember. I think I remember interviewing you there at the Waikiki Stadium after that innings when the West Indies won in the semi-final. So, Lendl, we'll miss you. We'll miss those shots. We'll miss the exciting brand of cricket that you brought. And we still hope that somehow you can be in the future of West Indies cricket in some other capacity.
Thank you very much.
All right. We'll be right back on Line and Length. Presenting Calvin Alkins Custom Services, bringing you over 25 years of experience in the business, offering top quality customs brokerage and logistics services to facilitate the needs of importers and exporters doing business in Barbados, with shipments worldwide via our partner Kestrel.com. Sea freight, air freight, freight logistics, and consolidation. Friendly staff based in Barbados and unbeatable professionalism. Calvin Alkins Custom Services. From anywhere in the world to your door, we get the package to you.
Hello and welcome to Line and Length in association with C.O. Williams Construction. I'm your host, Andrew Seeley, and joining us today, former West Indies pacer Patterson Thompson and president of the LIAC Airline Pilots Association, Patterson Thompson. Patterson, a lot has been happening, but before we get to talk a little bit about LIAC, let's talk a little bit about cricket. You've been watching the West Indies performance over the last couple of years. You had a stint with the West Indies team. It didn't last perhaps as long as you would have hoped. How do you see West Indies cricket at the moment?
Hey, Andrew, thanks for having me on your show. I remember you were the secretary who gave me the phone call and I was selected for West Indies team back in 1996. Yeah, man, I appreciate that phone call. Well, we're seeing some highs and lows in our cricket. And I think the issue here really is consistency. Sometimes we've seen the team perform have miraculous performances, and then you see lots of performances without fight. And you kind of figure out what's going on. There are a lot of factors affecting West Indies cricket. I mean, too much to discuss on the show. We see better performances in the Test cricket. We see better performances in the T20 because we know we won a couple of T20 titles. Then we see the 50-over cricket falling off. And as you saw recently, Bangladesh seems to have our number in the 50-over cricket. While it may not have been our strongest team, and I thought the team, I was on Mason and Friends, and I thought that the team was more of a test. But I was reminded by a friend of mine who said, that every series that we lose points as well, because we get points now that gives you a ranking or rating. So that, we can't afford to test too much, Andrew. So I see inconsistency. I do see talent. I'm a fast one. I love my fast bowlers. I see Azari Joseph. I see Jaden Seals. I see the young fellow from Trinidad Phillips. There's a whole of fast bowler used to be in Barbados. Not sure where he is. There's Vas Fitzgerald's son, Dominic. Shannon Gabriel seems to have fallen off the scene a bit. But there are some young fast bowlers there. Then there's Kemar Roach, who is just, as he gets old, he gets better. It's amazing, So there are some highlights, but we need consistency.
I think we've been hearing this for far too long. Perhaps even when you got that call from me way back when, so many years ago now, it seems the fans have been pleading for consistency from the West Indies team. We've changed players, we've changed coaches, we've changed managers. I don't know. I mean, you mentioned so many issues, and I think the issues seem to still remain the same.
Right. So maybe then it's not necessarily the coaches or managers, maybe the system, maybe where we start the cricket from. Maybe we have to get right back into the primary schools again. Maybe we have to go there. Maybe we have to go to the secondary schools and not have a PE teacher, but a cricket master. Maybe we have to encourage a more theoretical study in cricket and what it meant to be a cricketer back in the day when Wes Hall and Charlie Griffith and Simone Nurse and those gentlemen played. What they were playing for, they weren't playing for salary because it wasn't a lot of money then. So there's a pride issue. There's what does it mean to be a West Indies cricketer? So maybe we have to get back into those components to really revive and understand what is going on here. Maybe we have to do that kind of soul searching again.
I think what baffles me and perhaps also what hurts me as well is that while we seem to be going through this process or lack of process, for want of a better term, the other teams have surpassed us, have developed the whatever needs to be developed. We witnessed Bangladesh, we witnessed Ireland even giving New Zealand lots of trouble at home. And we see other teams like that. We see the United States now becoming possibly the number 3 team outside of the mainstream in terms of associates. So we seem to be the only team at the moment not progressing, and that is hurtful.
Well, here again, we don't have the same mass as these other countries. We are a region of maybe 5 million and dwindling. I think I make this point all the time. Cricket suffers from other sports. Look at the athletics. Just look at the Jamaican ladies last night. They 1, 2, 3 in the World Championship. Imagine Usain Bolt. Imagine Usain Bolt as a West Indies fast bowler. Imagine him as a West Indies. So we are losing some of this talent now to other sports. Swimming is taking off. Football has always been a threat. Even in Antigua, there's a young Antiguan who's now playing at such a level in basketball in college that he may very well end up in the NBA. So we're losing that raw material to other sports. Education, remember back in the day, the ability to get education was not as good as it is now. His education is free. It's available to everybody. Some people are now drifting off. I want to have a professional career. I would like, and I might get some blows in Barbados for this. I'm wondering if the co-education experiment did not have a disastrous effect on young men, and their talent and their sporting attributes. Maybe they're drifted and concentrated on the ladies instead of. I think some people may say that's a poor excuse, but I do think it had a part to play.
Okay, well, I don't know how much licks you'll get for that. I think it's an across the Caribbean thing, because it's not only Barbados Barbados still remains very strong in regional cricket, but even those players who are strong for Barbados at the regional level, when they go up to the next level, that they are part of the best that the West Indies has to offer, but our best is just not good enough.
Correct. But here's the thing too, I'm hearing some of the things that are going on in West Indies, living in Antigua, kind of close to the administration, and hearing things. There seems to be a loss in between when the cricketers leave Cricket West Indies or playing the regional level back down to their home countries. The programs that they're supposed to follow through with, I'm hearing that they're not following through. There's not enough attention being put on these young men and women, because we have women playing now, getting them to maintain a standard, get them fit. We're having too many issues when you come to the international squads. I'm hearing people not fit. I mean, I wasn't the fittest either, but when I was trying to play, we could play. Mm-hmm. So when you're hearing people getting opportunity after opportunity to get a fitness test and you keep failing the fitness test, there's something wrong. Something is wrong in between those levels, and we have to be able to work on getting our players fit. Otis Gibson, a lot of people, Otis Gibson was a stickler for fitness, and he's right. If you want to play international cricket, you have to be fit. So that seems to be a gap there that we need to fix. That's an identifiable gap straight off that we need to fix.
Okay, Patterson, let's move away from cricket for a little bit and now to your vocation and what made you famous even outside of cricket as a LIAT pilot and also as the president of the association. What's happening at the moment? We're all very concerned. I used to fly on LIAT when I worked with the board almost every single week up and down the Caribbean. And now to hear there are no LIAT flights, certainly not out of Barbados. And essentially you can't get from anywhere to anywhere, and it's affecting our sportsmen or entertainers or politicians or business people and just people who want to go to Trinidad for Carnival, want to come to Antigua for Carnival, want to go to St. Kitts for the music festival. We just can't get around the Caribbean, and no one seems to understand that we need to have LIAT back or some form of LIAT.
Well, where we are right now, after 2 years Liat was shut down sometime in June, July of 2020. The Antiguan government put in their administration. They recently went back to Parliament and extended the administration period from 2 years to an extra 6 months. There has been some talk at the CARICOM level, the last meeting in Suriname, of a resurgence of Liat or some kind of carrier out of Liat. If you listen to some quarters, they believe that Prime Minister Gonzalez he is expressed some interest in appointing some expert to restart or to see what is required to have this regional carrier back up. And if you listen to some other quarters, say, well, they don't know anything about that. And they have their plan, another person has their plan. And this is a problem, Andrew. For anything to happen, all the kids got to play nice in the sandbox. And I say, a lot of people say it's a joke, but I say it very seriously. Liat needs, if you're going to take a Liat 1974 or Liat 2020, either which way, you're going to have a common goal amongst all the regional leaders. It is an important piece of infrastructure. It must be customer service oriented and not politically driven. You must meet the needs of the customers. We must offer excellent customer service. And it cannot be a politically motivated airline, because that is where it goes astray every time. And it must provide a decent employment opportunity for Caribbean nationals. Now, having said that, having had 600 employees or close to 600 employees on the breadline for 2 years, and we have one program in Barbados and another program in Antigua, which is half completed, basically offering a fraction of what severance should be. They fall really short of what is needed. And I think that we have to get together again, provide a collective effort to try and solve the issue of severance or provide some kind of financial package to the workers. Because 3/4 of these workers are the people who you're gonna come back to, because they're already aviation trained. They have the aviation knowledge. It's just that they need a proper vision statement and proper leadership and a proper plan in place to carry them ahead. So I think we need to deal with that package first. And I'll say it again, Andrew, severance or any financial package is too great a burden for one nation. It has to be the 4 principal shareholders come together, come up with a plan. No doubt the others will join in. And the idea that we can just say, well, it's a limited liability company and we don't have a legal responsibility.
Obligation.
It's a couple, because a limited most businesses, let's say you and Barry had a business and it fails after 1 year, you will liquidate. But if you keep this business going for 10, 15, 20 years, it means then that your employees must have a reasonable expectation that this business was so important that you were willing to keep an insolvent business going, that they should have some kind of equity and protection when the day came that you were decided to lock it down. Now, Andrew, yes, I would say this again. Nobody expected the government to operate Liat through the pandemic when nobody was traveling. But a small core 3 or 4 aircraft are being used to facilitate the movement of the vaccines, facilitate the movement of nurses, because Liat brought nurses from Cuba for Barbados and all of them. They brought them from Cuba to St. Vincent, Barbados, and Antigua. So you knew that the airline was important then. The airline is important now. And what makes an organization? It's people, the human resources. Luckily for me, I did 2 courses at UA Open Campus with human resources. It's something that I like. And no organization, none. You have to have good workers, and workers must also provide a good service, Andrew. You can't have it both ways. And I've said it before. Some of the practices and some of the ideas and the thought process behind work in the old Liat will not go forward in 2020. But we don't need to target people. You don't need to name people and target people. That's not the way to go. That's not the way to go. We need to come together, and these things are driving us apart. So, I mean, I spoke a lot, but maybe you'll have another question on it, but these are the fundamental issues. And I'm hoping that these ladies and these gentlemen can come together and come up with a plan, because we're suffering. I haven't had a job in 2.5 years, Andrew. It's been really rough, you know.
But Patterson, boy, I don't know that I'm going to ask you another question. You have been so emotional, and I think you have put everything on the table with regards to the app. I know it has been your life for more than 20 years, and I know that you've enjoyed it. You haven't enjoyed the past 2.5 years,
No.
but I know you enjoyed your time with the app. And I too, like you, look forward to the app being back in the air, and also West Indies being back on top of the world cricket. Thank you once again, Patterson
Thank
Thompson.
you. Thank you, Andrew.
You're watching Line and Length in association with C.O. Williams Construction, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
C.O. Williams introduces the newest in resurfacing solutions, an easy, affordable, and durable way to redo your commercial or residential driveway, walkway, or parking lot. There is no need to disrupt your home or have unsightly excavation with this repaving system. It is one easy application of Tough Seal that lasts up to 10 years. Give us a call to find out more about this easy, affordable, and durable resurfacing.
You're watching DBS.